Triple H The Rock realizes that there's something deep down inside of you that eats you alive. Something that makes you wake up in a cold sweat. And that's the fact that as good as you are, The Rock is simply better.
The Rock versus Triple H. Let's dive in. The Rock transformed into a major force in the entertainment industry. He is recognized globally, and practically everyone knows his name. On the flip side, Hunter has risen to become a leading executive within WWE. However, back in 1996, both individuals were at contrasting stages in their careers.
There's a guy who looks like Tarzan, and he wrestles like Jane.
Their relationship was complex. In their interactions, it was easy to believe that they genuinely disliked one another, and that was because they did.
Do you know what I think? It doesn't matter what you're...
At different times, each man found himself at odds with the other, creating a storyline that ran deeper than most fans realize.
Rocky, you are gonna be my bitch!
When Triple H first joined WWE, he was introduced as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, a character crafted by Vince McMahon that embodied the persona of a privileged snob from Greenwich, Connecticut. His character was designed to irritate fans with its arrogance, yet he backed it up with his exceptional technical skills in the ring. Winning the Intercontinental Championship was often seen as a stepping stone to world title contention, and Triple H certainly viewed it that way. Shortly after his arrival, The Rock made his debut as Rocky Maivia, a third-generation wrestler with a rich family legacy, his grandfather being the legendary High Chief Peter Maivia and his father Rocky Johnson. The combination of their names created the persona of Rocky Maivia. He heavily promoted Rocky Maivia during his early days, perhaps too aggressively for some fans' tastes. His debut took place during a Survivor Series match, which featured teams competing in an elimination format. Making such a debut at Madison Square Garden, a venue known as the epitome of wrestling greatness, was significant and signaled that he was far from an ordinary newcomer.
Now there's gonna be the man right there. That's Blue Chipper right there.
On that memorable night at Survivor Series, Triple H was also part of the match. It was the first time many fans had laid eyes on The Rock, and there was an immediate sense that he was destined for greatness. From day one, the rivalry between him and Triple H began to take shape, with the veteran Hunter Hearst Helmsley facing off against the rising star Rocky Maivia.
Rocky backing up Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Experience forming.
When I arrived on the scene, there was a sense of jealousy among some, with whispers about why this newcomer was receiving such a significant push. The Rock faced challenges during this period. From what I recall, perhaps my memory is selective, I don't remember Triple H actively antagonizing The Rock all that much. Right from his debut, there were discussions about The Rock being groomed for the Intercontinental Championship, which inevitably brought him into the conversation with Triple H, who held the title at the time. Triple H had the Intercontinental Championship, and during a show in Massachusetts, Vince McMahon approached him with the directive to drop the title to the newcomer, Rocky Maivia, that very night. Hunter was not pleased. Rocky Maivia stood on the brink of becoming a champion that night. Babyface receiving a massive push that fans found hard to digest. The chant fans wanted to hear was Rocky, Rocky, but instead they chanted, Rocky sucks.
Rocky sucks! Rocky sucks! Rocky sucks!
I recall one moment when the camera zoomed in on a sign in the crowd that read, Die, Rocky, die. I thought that was one of the harshest things I had ever seen. It wasn't just Rocky sucks, it felt personal. During this period in WWE, there was a monumental shift as we moved into the Attitude Era. Rock, a guy who seemed genuinely happy to be there, even in defeat, which drove fans up the wall because they could see through that facade. The landscape of wrestling was changing rapidly. Everything became edgier and more grounded in reality, and many characters from earlier times felt outdated. Rocky Maivia lacked that edge during this transition. As fans began to turn against him, he maintained his cheerful demeanor. Eventually, when he got injured and took some time off during the summer, he received a call from Jim Ross. Jim asked how he felt about joining the Nation of Domination and embracing a heel persona. The Rock was enthusiastic about this change. The Nation of Domination was a faction that positioned itself against the audience, presenting The Rock with a prime opportunity to reinvent himself. From that point forward, his career skyrocketed as he tapped into an authentic side of himself.
In arenas across the country, I heard chants of Rocky sucks. Well, Rocky might be is a lot of things, but sucks isn't one of them.
This reinvention allowed The Rock to become the true megastar he was destined to be.
When you introduce me, you damn sure better introduce me as The Rock.
Rocky maybe lacked an edge. Joining the Nation allowed him to embody a much edgier character. At this time, Triple H and Shawn Michaels were also navigating their own paths. They had an informal chat during a cruise about potentially teaming up and seeing where it might lead.
We are the Generation X. You make the rules, and we will rank up.
In the backstage environment, Triple H was known for his humor. When he embraced his D-Generation X persona, it allowed him to step away from his previous character. Whenever a competitor surpasses you, it definitely ignites a fire within. There were instances when they exchanged words that made both of them think, okay, that was a bit harsh.
That taste in your mouth, it's these.
Triple H, what The Rock plans on doing tonight is taking his big right hand, his WWF Championship, and beating your candy ass from pillar to post.
You could tune into WWE and consistently witness the ongoing rivalry between these two. I genuinely felt their animosity towards each other, even if they never openly acknowledged it. This rivalry pushed both Triple H and The Rock to push themselves to new heights and elevate the entire industry.
Triple H is a prime example. It's a guy who looks like Tarzan and he wrestles like James.
The authenticity in their interactions was undeniable. They truly didn't like one another. Triple H was always attuned to the wrestling landscape, constantly assessing where he fit in and how to elevate his status. Austin had the role of the crowd favorite. When The Rock began his iconic third-person promos, it was clear he was on the brink of something monumental.
And The Rock will take not 1 foot, but 2. Turn them sideways and stick them straight up your rectum.
The Rock! And with The Rock's star on the rise, Triple H recognized that it was imperative for him to adapt and evolve if he wanted to stay at the top.
Pedigree! Triple H has turned his back on X-Pac!
Triple H recognized that he wasn't facing just another top heel. He saw an opportunity to shift his character. He wanted to evolve and break free from his previous persona. This marked a significant transformation for him, transitioning from a petulant youth to a formidable force capable of dominating anyone in the ring.
Look at this! My God, the sledgehammer! He just grabbed the arm! What sledgehammer? Broke the Rock's arm! His arm is broken, for God's sake!
He became more determined and dangerous than ever before, fully committing to this new character, which in turn encouraged the audience to take him seriously.
The way you worship this piece of crap. Why? Because he can raise an eyebrow?
What you're failing to realize, Triple H, is that you are dealing with the most, keep your head still, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
This was truly The Rock at his peak. His ability to trash talk was unparalleled, and with Triple H as his perfect rival, it set the stage for what was to come at Fully Loaded.
Triple H, The Rock says, at this pay-per-view Fully Loaded, The Rock is gonna do to you exactly what he does best, and that's lay the smack down on your candy ass.
In many ways, Triple H and The Rock have lived parallel lives in the WWE.
In many respects, Triple H and The Rock have followed similar paths in WWE. They represented opposing forces, The Rock as the beacon of light, and Triple H as the shadow in this dynamic.
There you go!
They kept gravitating back towards each other. Both aspired to be the top star, driving each other to continually raise their game.
Oh, Helmsley! Wait a minute! Helmsley's up! Ken Helmsley! The pedigree! Yes! Damn it!
When Triple H learned that he would be receiving the championship title, it was an incredibly significant moment for him. His ambition was to become the most formidable heel in wrestling history, especially as The Rock ascended to become the leading babyface during that period.
Like it or not, I am the game.
rivalry between The Rock and Triple H was firmly established. They weren't concerned about taking jabs at one another.
Well, The Rock says if you are the game, then quite frankly, you need to go back to the drawing board because your game absolutely sucks!
The primary focus was on energizing the audience. It was all about having fun and creating memorable moments.
I am the game.
Is he constipated?
Going to be talking and saying absolutely nothing.
Watching The Rock deliver those incredibly entertaining promos, you couldn't help but feel sorry for anyone who had to step into the ring with him. He had a knack for dismantling opponents verbally, leaving them looking foolish. No one really stood a chance against his charisma and wit. The Rock's credibility was undeniable.
Triple H, The Rock says you don't have enough hair on your rooting hoop.
I recall being in school and everyone would quote his lines. They became part of everyday conversation, phrases that permeated pop culture. People would ask how you felt just so they could respond with a classic Rock line.
It doesn't matter what your opinion is.
When it came to cutting promos, The Rock was merciless. If you didn't have a solid comeback, you were bound to be overshadowed.
Triple H, you're the biggest ass walking God's green earth.
I always found it interesting how the relationship between Triple H and The Rock was professional, yet tinged with a real-life rivalry simmering beneath the surface. Both were vying for the same top spots, and there were moments when tensions ran high. There were times when The Rock didn't see eye to eye with Triple H, and vice versa.
At various points in time, he did not like me, and at various points in time, I did not like him.
The Rock became a key rival for The Game, Triple H, setting the stage for their encounters leading up to the Royal Rumble. When The Rock entered that Royal Rumble match and claimed victory, securing a spot in the main event at WrestleMania, it was clear we were in for an epic showdown. The Rock versus Triple H for the world title.
Triple H, The Rock says this, seeing as he just won the Royal Rumble, it officially makes your days as a WWF champion numbered.
With WrestleMania looming, the stakes couldn't be higher. There was a plan for a fatal four-way elimination match that would ultimately lead to the highly anticipated clash between Triple H and The Rock. In the meantime, the match would feature several other competitors, each backed by a McMahon. You had Stephanie McMahon supporting her husband Triple H, Vince McMahon in The Rock's corner, Linda McMahon alongside Mick Foley, and Shane McMahon backing the Big Show. This setup culminated in a thrilling fatal four-way elimination match featuring all of our top stars with a McMahon in every corner. It was going to be an unforgettable showdown. The victor of this match will become the WWF champion. Naturally, fans are hoping for a showdown between Triple H and The Rock as the last two competitors, but there's still an air of unpredictability in the mix.
A chair shot. And The Rock has illuminated the Big Show. Peregrine on the chair. Triple H has eliminated Mick Foley. We're down to 2 men.
At this stage, both of these athletes are absolutely electrifying, dodging and weaving through the chaos. The rivalry between Triple H and The Rock was the centerpiece of that match. Plus, having a McMahon in every corner added another layer of intrigue.
Oh, wait! Fight! What the hell did he do that for? Why did Vince McMahon hit The Rock?
But why did that big man intervene? What was he thinking when he swung the steel chain? Triple H managed to retain his championship, which left me with mixed feelings. It felt like we missed out on what should have been a classic one-on-one encounter between him and The Rock. By the way, Otter's WrestleMania record stands at 10 wins and 14 losses. He contributed immensely to many careers, but during this period, it was time for him to receive some recognition in return. Ultimately, he had to showcase his character, and they did just that. Triple H emerged victorious, leaving the audience frustrated. How do you rectify such an injustice? We're not going to wait an entire year to fix this. We'll address it in just a month.
And be quite honest, Rock, I've kicked your ass so many times, I'm just gonna get a bit bored with it. Why don't we just wait until Sunday for me to kick your ass one last time at Backlash for the World Wrestling Federation Championship?
matches between The Rock and Triple H in 2000 were among the best I've ever witnessed. All wrestlers have egos, some are healthier than others, but once they step into the ring, they leave those egos behind. Once the match concluded, Hollywood came calling for The Rock. He began to garner attention beyond the wrestling realm, even hosting Saturday Night Live. And who was there to support him?
Break a leg, man. All right? Me and the other guys are here for you.
The Rock was evolving into a cultural phenomenon, reaching audiences far beyond just wrestling fans. Meanwhile, Hunter was positively impacting the careers of other wrestlers from his executive position. Both Triple H and The Rock have made their marks. Triple H with his unwavering commitment to WWE as head of creative, and The Rock blazing his trail in Hollywood. They are both legends in their own right, yet there's always a spark whenever their paths cross. Where can we take this rivalry that hasn't been explored before? The Rock approached Triple H with the idea of doing another WrestleMania together. They filmed a brief segment backstage, and it was effortless for them. They nailed it in one take.
Something perfectly clear. You and The Rock go way back, but there ain't no way. And The Rock means no way that you would ever whoop his ass. And The Rock, one more time at any WrestleMania this year, next year, the year after that, 10 years from now, The Rock would still lay it to smack it down on your candy ass, put his boot straight up your ass, and not...
The entire setup was leading to WrestleMania, where the two legends would step into the ring once again and settle the score.
So whether you like it or whether you don't, it really doesn't matter because the authority always wins.
If you smell
The Rock is here, and it is thunderous!
Triple H getting his monkey ass kicked by the people chant The Rock.
Right? He's never lost that spark in his eyes. At this point in their relationship, there's been enough time that they've both earned a great deal of mutual respect. This rivalry is fascinating because The Rock ascended to become the biggest star in Hollywood. On the other hand, you have Triple H, who has significantly impacted the wrestling industry both during his active career and now from behind the scenes. Their respect for each other has grown throughout their journeys. Right. They had an undeniable chemistry that could elevate their matches to extraordinary levels almost instantly. Those bouts hold an incredibly special place in my heart. It didn't matter to us who emerged victorious. What truly counted was their desire to energize that city, electrify that night, and captivate the crowd. That's all that mattered. The two finest athletes in the World Wrestling Federation took to the ring and ignited it. Triple H and The Rock shared a unique bond and chemistry. We're talking about some unforgettable exchanges here. Triple H and The Rock had an extensive rivalry filled with remarkable matches and memorable moments. There's truly no one like Triple H, and I have an immense appreciation for both him and The Rock for entertaining us. They were once young talents, navigating their way through the industry, battling over the Intercontinental Championship. The Rock would evolve into the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, while Triple H would establish himself as a key contender for the WWE Championship for years. Together, they represent two of the most iconic names in sports entertainment history.
This is your grand master plan. This is the master scheme. This is the best you can come up with. I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter if it's the best you come up with.
In my view, they will always hold my respect. There's a legacy there that can never be diminished. Triple H and The Rock's rivalry captivated audiences, and their electrifying chemistry is still being discussed even now. Together, they made wrestling history. For those who were fortunate enough to witness their matches firsthand, it was truly unforgettable. And for those who have yet to experience these epic showdowns, I can assure you that they remain timeless gems in the world of sports entertainment.